Look at this sentence from a typical academic draft. Formal education has an effect on intelligence. Read strictly, the verb has makes this a claim of absolute certainty. It states that in every single instance, without exception, education alters intelligence. In academic writing, absolute statements are a liability. If a reader finds even one exception, the entire claim collapses under the weight of counter-evidence. To solve this, writers use hedging. Softening the language turns a fragile absolute fact into a resilient, defensible argument. The simplest way to hedge a sentence is by using modal verbs. Let's return to our original statement. By swapping the absolute verb has for a modal structure, we get formal education can have a continuing effect. Often, students mistake modals like can, could, may, and might as markers of past tense. In academic writing, they function as dials for certainty. They dial down the claim from a rigid 100% certainty to a much safer probability. Modals are efficient, introducing necessary doubt without rewriting the sentence. Take this sentence. The Arctic Ocean is emitting substantial amounts of methane. We remove the definitive is and introduce a tentative verb, becoming, the Arctic Ocean seems to be emitting substantial amounts of methane. You can then layer on adverbs to fine-tune the exact strength of the claim. Combining a tentative verb with words like arguably, frequently, or potentially gives you precise control. Another powerful tool is the impersonal structure. Take the statement, drought is the major problem in parts of sub-Saharan Africa. We can distance the author from this claim by adding a framing phrase at the beginning. It seems that drought is the major problem. These structural shifts don't diminish your underlying data. They position your writing as an objective, evidence-based observation, not a personal declaration. Let's put this into practice. Read this absolute statement. A volcanic eruption in the Antarctic will cause sea levels to rise considerably. Pause the video and rewrite this sentence twice, first with a modal verb, and then with an impersonal structure. For the first option, we replace the absolute verb will cause with a softer modal, resulting in could cause sea levels to rise. For the second option, we introduce the core sentence with an impersonal frame. It is possible that a volcanic eruption. Both revisions neutralize the absolute phrasing. The core scientific observation remains intact, but the claim is now insulated against being dismissed over a single variable. Once you learn these tools, the temptation is to use all of them at once to be as safe as possible. You end up with a sentence like, it might possibly appear that perhaps formal education could potentially have an effect. This is overhedging. While this technically protects the claim, the core meaning is buried under a pile of qualifiers. You sacrifice your academic authority to play it safe. The goal is balance. By stripping away the excess, we find a clean, confident middle ground. Formal education can significantly affect intelligence. Here is your complete hedging toolkit. Modals like can and could, tentative verbs like seem and appear, modifying adverbs like arguably, and impersonal structures like it is possible that. Mastering academic writing means knowing your evidence well enough to choose the exact right tool, giving your sentences enough flexibility to survive scrutiny without losing their impact.